So I've previously done a couple of videos on Amy Souza. She goes by the known heretic across social media.
So this young woman has gone out of her way to attempt to get my attention, and I have some extra time today. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to her, not necessarily because I think she deserves it, but because I think she employs some tactics that are worth exposing. So what we have here is some kind of like outrage at some of my terms, and also some ad hominem attacks. So she's attempting to discredit my character and discredit my work. And her main theme here is to talk about my master class and to say that it is a grift. And I see these young people all the time using that term. I don't think they know what that term means. To perform a grift is to con someone, to trick them, to swindle. What I have done with my masterclass is compiled a lot of my work on safeguarding, instincts, intuition, embodiment. I've spent hours and hours of research, hours creating slides to make it really understandable and useful, and I wrote the piece. So this took many hours of my time, and I'm doing what any academic or teacher does. If people want the material, it's there for them. I give away a lot of this material for free in little bites on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. I'm not trying to trick anyone or lure them into it. I don't really do hardly any marketing work. It's not like I'm making a ton of money from this. There's little trickles that I get here and there, but I do charge for it because it took me a lot of time and effort. Um, but mainly, I want to talk here about kind of this performative outrage she has about some of the way that I speak. And I want to go into it a little more deeply. So, I do say that we are our bodies. And really, what I mean by this is that our bodies are just neutral. They are a neutral way of experiencing the world. My body is the physical form and function of how I experience the world around me. It's not a who. It's not who I am. It's simply the form that I am. And I don't have anything else I can be. I am my body because there's no other options. I can't come out of my body and leap into another body. And women are always experiencing our bodies, whatever we do. Women can take testosterone, women can get double mastectomies. These are things that women can do. These are experiences that women can have. And women never stop experiencing our bodies, same as men. Men never stop experiencing their bodies. Men can take hormones, men can get breast augmentation. These are experiences men can have. And I'm using these terms neutrally. So I'm using them like the scientific classification of organisms according to their form and function, just like I would distinguish myself as an animal as opposed to a plant, just like I would distinguish myself as a mammal as opposed to a reptile. This is a way of talking about the kind of organism that I am. And I would ask this young woman, what does the word man mean to you? And why do you find it necessary to use that word to describe your identity? What is non neutral about the word woman to you? What is the word woman mentally signifying to you that you would not be able to use it to speak about the kind of physical experience that you are having? Because the fact of the matter is, again, no matter what you do, your body is your physical experience. That's just it. Once you are on a developmental path, you're on it for life. That's how they work. You can never stop being an animal to change to being a plant. You can't stop being a mammal to change to being a reptile. You can't stop being a human to change to being a chimpanzee. And you can't stop being a woman to change to being a man. These are neutral physical experiences, and they are the only physical experience you have available to you. So when I use the word dissociation, I'm talking about the fact that you would like to have some kind of other physical experience that's unavailable to you, that there's something so foul to you about the physical experience that you are having that you are attempting to reject it by using words that do not apply to your physical experience. The word man does not apply to a woman's physical experience any more than the word plant refers to my experience as a mammal. That word has nothing to do with my physical experience. Now I'm using words neutrally. I'm not using them as a mental concept. I'm not using them as an identity to refer to myself. I'm just using it to talk about the physicality that I have and how I have to interact with the world. For all mammals, sexual development is mutually antagonistic. This means that once you are on that sexual development path, there's no jumping tracks. Mutually antagonistic means that once that developmental path begins, the other developmental path is automatically inhibited from beginning. So I I think I'm sorry in a sense that what I say offends people who believe that they can identify into the category of the opposite sex. But I think it's really important in terms of valuing our instincts, valuing our embodiment, to use these terms neutrally and not as terms to talk about an identity. An identity is a mental concept that we hold about ourselves. So regardless of any mental concept I hold about myself, it doesn't matter what mental concept I hold. I could think of myself as a fairy. I could think of myself as a mermaid. These are things I used to love to think about myself when I was a little kid. But regardless of that, the only experience I can have is through and as this body. I am born as my body. It's not something I identify as or identify with. My body is a neutral circumstance, and it's the only circumstance I can experience. All right. I think I've said enough. All right. Thanks. Bye.